Hello, welcome to my Arduino sketch videos. As you know, I've got two megas, one I call input, one I call output. This is the sketch for the inputs, my third attempt. The first two, whatever, worked or didn't work, or they needed to be changed, so the third attempt worked. And it goes like this. It's 16 lines. Well, I set an array of length 62 to CSTS, meaning for me it's any variable name, but for me it means the current status. Then in the setup, I turn on serial if I wanted to do serial monitor. I start serial 1, which is communicating over to the output mega. I run a loop, taking all the analog inputs, setting with pin mode, setting in the straight inputs. Then I go 2 through 13 as an input. As you can see here, the comment 14 through 19 are reserved for future serial RX and TX. Take the remaining pins, 20 through 53, set them in pin mode to inputs. Then I turn around and go 0 through 61 on the current status, and I set it to 0 just to give me a starting point when the sketch first loads. Once it's loaded, current status is constantly changing depending on the status of what the points are. Then for the main loop, there's two sub functions, just functions I guess, not sub. Read and send. Read is here. Take an integer called temporary read, and then in a loop set to 2 to 13 because 0 and 1 are the first serial transmit and receive pin numbers. So I left those untouched, and I start on pin 2 through 13 because we mentioned 14 and through 19 are the other RX, TX. So the temporary read gets the digital read of whatever's going on pin 2. Then I take temporary read and I say, if it's high, set the current status of C, in this case 2, equal to 1. If it's not equal to high, then go ahead and set it to 0. Delay a millisecond, fill up all 2 through 13, start another loop, picking up from 20 through 53, do the same thing. When C is equal to 20, digital read pin 20, current status, array value 20 is either 1 or 0, depending on high or low. And then I don't know what I did, but I did these individually. Pin A0, A1. Instead of running through a loop, I did it this way. As I mentioned, I'm not a rocket scientist when it comes to code, but my stuff works. Then the second function is the send function. Again, I do it with a loop, set it C equal to 0 up to 61 because I have that many inputs on the Mega. Actually, they say it's 54 I/O, all general purpose I/O, and then there's 16 analog. So when you take away the couple that you need for the serial communication, and so you end up with 61, or at least I did. Then I take and I send over within the loop serial 1 write, current status C0, send that over, whatever that is. It could be 1 or 0, I don't know, but I send it over to the output mega. Then I serial write out, serial 1 write out to the output mega, C, in this case 0, plus 100. So it's sending over 100. Then I delay a millisecond, I flush out the buffer, I go through it again and again and again until I get to 61. Take the current status of the 61st array variable, which could be either 1 or 0, turn around and send 161. I'll show you in the Mega how that works. And that's it. The input sketch is short, simple. It's basically the two functions, read and send. I have one here holding. I tried to set it up so that I was only sending not 0 through 61, but only the ones between 0 and 61 that had changed since the last read. For instance, in the middle of the night, when no lights are turning on or off, I wouldn't really be sending anything between the input mega and the output mega because there's no change in any of the variables. And I was trying to do that for efficiency. It backfired on me. I commented the whole thing out. I don't care. As I said, this works. So I'm happy with that. So the input 3, as a matter of fact, is very short and sweet. And I will knock this one off and start on the output mega sketch. I'm going to have to break that down into a couple sections.